All right, let's take a look at the projected playoff bracket based on this week's AP poll. And Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, and Ole Miss. They would have the 4 first-round byes. How about some juicy on-campus first-round matchups, including a Lone Star State rivalry renewed, Texas Tech and Texas A&M, and Alabama taking on Penn State. That's right now based on this week's AP poll. The first playoff ranking, though, won't be announced until Tuesday, November 4th. So let's play either or. So which one-loss SEC side goes dancing in the postseason, Maddie? Is it Bama or is it Texas?
I think it's Mark Ingram's Roll Tide right now. Ever since that week 1 loss to Florida State, this team is playing as well as anybody in the country. They're tough, they're resilient, they're poised. It's not always pretty. We know about the rushing attack. They've struggled. The rush defense has struggled at times, but they got an elite quarterback. They got elite playmakers on the outside. That win last week against Georgia just said a lot about that football team, I thought. Texas, we just talked about a quarterback and forth. Texas, their best win to this date is San Jose State. There are just more questions that I have about Texas than there are for Alabama, guys.
They got an opportunity to change that a little bit there in Gainesville today. Which team from the Hoosier State coach goes? Is it Indiana? Is it Notre Dame?
Well, Notre Dame had two tough losses, top 6 teams, Miami and A&M. How about this, Brady? Notre Dame does not play a ranked team the rest of the season. I repeat, not a ranked team.
That could change.
When has Notre Dame had a soft schedule like that? IU has had the softest non-conference schedule, maybe in college football history, maybe not. But I see this. Here's a scenario. I see Notre Dame win out 10 straight. The committee puts them in. However, I also say Indiana finishes 10-2 because of the depth, because of the strength of the Big Ten. Indiana and Notre Dame make the playoff.
Wow. So instead of either or, it's just both.
It's slash.
Bam.
All right, Mark, FSU or Tennessee?
All right, Stoner, let's play a game of hypotheticals here.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Stoner.
Hypothetically, Florida State loses to Miami today and they win out 10-2.
Okay.
Hypothetically, Tennessee goes to Alabama, they lose, they win out, they're 10-2. The common head-to-head opponent, Florida State can say, we beat Alabama. So, hypothetically, in this scenario, I choose Florida State.
A lot of hypotheticals in that one. I like it. 4 unbeatens left in the Big 12. The Big 2 in the conference, as of now at least, Iowa State and Texas Tech. Which of those two do you like?
This one's easy for me. It's Texas Tech. We've seen both teams up front and personal, and really, Texas Tech is the most complete team. Some questions coming into the season about their defense. We know about the transfer portal. It hit them in a big way. And I think the thing that stood out to me, guys, was the physicality in which they played on both sides of the ball. They can throw the football around, they can run the football, and up front they are stout. So to me, it's Texas Tech. And by the way, Iowa State today in Cincinnati, they're a dog on the road, and they've got 16 guys out, a couple players in the secondary too, so keep an eye on that one.
Agreed. Penn State and Michigan, they don't meet in the regular season. Which of the two blue bloods goes dancing?
I'm gonna go with Michigan, and the reason why I think Penn
With your
State,
heart or with your...
Yeah, I'm going. This is my analyst hat. That
Okay.
Yeah, you're going with your pocket square is what you're going with.
The Penn State Nittany Lions, they don't beat ranked opponents. They lost 15 straight to top 6 opponents. And the problem with them is they just lost to Oregon, and we know they don't beat Ohio State. They never beat Ohio State. And so they're going to get beat by 2 ranked opponents, and of course you can give them, that they lost to good opponents, but you can't give it to them because they had to win at least one of those games, and I don't see them beating Ohio State. With Michigan, I got a young quarterback that's still growing. Got beat by Oklahoma, we understand that, but this team is getting better, the offensive line is getting better. You see what our run game is doing. Yes. Defensively, we're still gelling as a defense as well. So I feel like our team, you know who we do beat?
Who?
We beat the Buckeyes. So we run this table. We get to that last game of the season against Ohio State in this stadium.
Right.
In this stadium. We'll be going to the playoffs, baby.
2,100
Yes, sir. Hey, the truth hurts. Y'all do beat it. Yeah, it does.
This one's for you, Charles. 2,135 days since Ohio State last beat Michigan.
That's been a long time. Hey, stop. Just say it's been a long time.
Big number, Charles, 2,135. So let's hand it over to Bear and Dave, guys. We're seeking some immediate feedback on the guys' picks. What do you got?
What do we think about that 21-35? Is that going to continue this year?
You hear Charles Woodson, you can tell who's got the Michigan degree, who's got the brains. The fact that we can already pencil in a W for Michigan beating Ohio State gives us a huge advantage. They're number 1. Michigan will be a playoff team. They're getting 100 times better. By the way, Bear, these people are cheering very loudly. They heard the Bears country. He was on a podcast trashing Michigan. They're letting you hear it, Bear.
I know.
But yes, we're playoff
they're
team.
up them here. They're proving me wrong, which is perfectly fine. It's a lot louder than it has, but I will give you that. But am I allowed to like waffle a little bit and combine Texas and Georgia? I like your either ors. I like the way you went, but I think you look at Texas and Georgia. They play. One of them are going to lose. So that's going to give a second loss to one of them. And in that deep SEC, maybe someone picks up a third. Could we either be seeing either a 3-loss team make the playoff, or we're looking at either Georgia or Texas on the outside looking in?
Yeah, I would almost see a 3-loss Big Ten team. I'm so sick of hearing about 3-loss SEC teams and how deep the SEC is. The SEC is not that deep. It's a bunch of middle-of-the-road teams that can beat each other. The Big Ten is stacked. The Big Ten is clearly the best 3 teams in my mind, and Michigan will be up there. Stop with the SEC garbage.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here. College football on Fox.